Hello, my lovelies. Good morning. So, this is going to be kind of a strange video, but I feel like it needs to be shared, so I'm going to. So, those of you that know me know that I channel a lot of the time. It's never really like off. So, the other night I was getting ready to lay down and go to sleep, and I could feel myself starting to astral project. And if you don't know what that is, it's where your essence or your soul kind of leaves your body for a little while and goes into the astral, into the ethers. Now, we're all capable of doing that. I typically only do that when I'm actually asleep. I was still lucid. I was still mostly awake when this happened, and that doesn't happen too often for me. So as I'm in this realm, I start to see things swirling all around. I actually recorded all of this in my notes app on my phone because I was afraid I was going to not be able to remember it once I actually did wake up. So I wrote it all down. So I'm going to read to you exactly what it is that I saw. I'm not in any way, shape, or form predicting that these things are going to happen. I'm simply documenting what I channeled in case it actually does. So I want to preface by saying that. So at the time that I left my body, this happened on November the 3rd, super late in the evening, I would say around 1 o'clock or so in the morning. So I left my body, I astral traveled, and it looked like a tornado spinning around. I could see myself up above everything, and everything was kind of spinning below me. It looked kind of like a tornado is the best way I can describe it. I could see like buildings and trees and all of these things below me, and everything was kind of swirling around in a tornado-like shape. So I was above this looking down, and then the first thing that stood out to me that I could see was the Pentagon building. I knew it was the Pentagon because of the shape. I've never been there, I've never seen it in person, but from my vantage point, I was above it like I was in the sky looking down on top of it. And what I could see was an immense love that permeated the walls. Beams of pure white light came down upon it, and it entered the people's hearts and made them want to help the citizens. What I feel like this is referring to is when I channel the Holy Spirit, it comes to me as beams of pure white light. Very bright, very high vibrational, and I feel like there's going to be some sort of energetic shift, and it may take place starting in the Pentagon. It's a strange thing to come through, but that's why I'm sharing it, because I feel like it's somehow significant. Apparently it was 1:11 in the morning, 1:11 a.m. I have it written down on my little notepad there, 1:11 a.m. All right. So then I saw a bunch of people that were turning into zombies, and that was kind of bizarre to me. I thought, what in the world is this? And so they looked mindless. They looked normal on the outside. You couldn't tell that they were being affected by whatever this was until you got really close to them, and then you could tell it's like the lights are on and nobody's home. Blank look in their eyes. They wouldn't make eye contact. They wouldn't communicate with words. They literally were just completely checked out, looking like a zombie. So they didn't appear like how we would see them in Hollywood movies where, you know, their skin's all messed up, or, you know, they're looking for brains or whatever stupid, silly stuff that's going on. It wasn't that. They literally looked normal on the outside until you got close and realized that they would not look at you and they could not communicate with you. They were completely checked out mentally. Then Spirit told me that frequency made them crazy mixed with no food. And that was the part that really was unsettling to me. So there's something going on with frequency. They didn't give me like what the frequency was, but they did start to explain exactly how this happened. So they first started to see demons, these people that ended up being zombied. They started to see demons, so lots of hallucinations. They started to develop psychosis, not being in current time and place. It was like they were disassociating with reality, and that frequency was part of the reason, mixed with no food. And they gave me 3 words: psychosis, frequency, zombie. So the 3 were correlated together. And then Spirit said 3 letters: PFE. So I Googled if there was any sort of significance to the letters PFE, and the first thing that came up with those is Pfizer stock. Pfizer was one of the drug companies that developed a COVID vaccine. There were 3: Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer. But PFE is the abbreviation for the Pfizer stock. So then Spirit said stocks crash, just like the 1900 crash on a global scale. And then the next they gave me was rebuilt to withstand the load. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, rebuilt to withstand the load. And then they reference top secret PSYOP, 2 decades in the making, and chapter close. And that's the end of the channeled message. I'm not 100% sure what I picked up, but this one was so out there, I feel like I have to document it because I don't typically get things like this ever. So there's got to be some sort of significance to it. I would love to be dead wrong. I would absolutely love to be dead wrong. I don't want there to be anything that happens to the general population. I feel like we're all going through immense upheaval in our own worlds anyway, and the last thing we need is to be dealing with any more crazy things that are happening. So I'm only documenting this in case, but I'm praying that it's just, some sort of like silly dream or something else. But in case it's not, I wanted to put it in documentation. So try not to worry. I feel like Spirit's going to protect us. And whatever happens to happen, there's only so much that we can humanly do. So keep your head on you straight and guard your energy. Try and stay away from people, especially in large crowds, because I feel like that could be some issues going forward. Try and keep to yourself if at all possible. Stay around people that you know, love, and trust, and stay away from big populated areas, because I feel like that's where we're going to start to see some of these issues if they happen. Stay safe. Have a good day.